I'm meteorologist Brian Peters with your Weather Xtreme video for Saturday, February the 6th. Looks like we're going to have a nice weekend, but the weather's going to turn much colder the first of next week. There's a look at the surface map for today, and we have surface high pressure generally over the southeastern U.S. and the lower Mississippi River Valley. In the upper atmosphere, we have a very strong little shortwave that is coming through Texas. And while that looks like that might impact us, believe it or not, it is actually going to dive further south and cross the Gulf of Mexico, so not going to be a particularly big issue for us. Temperatures this morning generally in the 20s. At the time this was made just before sunrise, there were a few readings that were a little bit warmer than that, but still everybody basically at or below freezing. And our Skywatcher up in Black Creek reported heavy frost with a temperature of 23 degrees. The watch warning map is not too complicated this morning. We see a lot of purples off in the Atlantic along the coastline, and those represent, the deep purples represent storm warnings. The slightly lighter purples represent small craft advisories. Up in the north-central United States, the greens are blizzard watches, and those browns are actually high wind advisories. QPF-wise for precipitation, we're not looking at a lot during the next 5 days, most of that coming Monday afternoon, evening into Tuesday afternoon, and in the form of some very light rain or perhaps some snow flurries. And Storm Prediction Center is not outlooking any severe weather for days 1, 2, or 3. On day 1, this one, we see that there is some thunderstorms possible over southeast Texas. All right, let's get to the 06Z GFS model run this morning. And there comes our high pressure settling in over the mid-Atlantic states as well as the southeastern United States. We can see some rain out there in East Texas and southwest Louisiana and the western Gulf. That rain you would think might be coming our way, but it is not, because the upper low and that deep trough is going to dive across the northern Gulf, and that will keep everything suppressed. On Sunday, we can see that system has done just that. It has moved across the northern Gulf of Mexico. It's now over the southeast, or just off the Southeast U.S. coast. And at the surface, we now see what we call bombogenesis, and that is a very intense, rapid intensification of the surface low that will generate over the Florida Peninsula on this afternoon and into the evening hours. Will generate that deep intensification. And a bombogenesis refers to 24-hour pressure fall of at least 24 millibars in 24 hours, so basically about 1 millibar per hour. That storm system rapidly moves out into the Atlantic, and then in the meantime, we're now being impacted by some much colder air. As you can see, a deep trough developing over the eastern half of the country, and that affects us. The GFS is pretty bullish on the fact that it's suggesting we could have some snow, not any significant snow. As a matter of fact, if you look at the snowfall amounts for 18Z on Monday, that's midday, about noon, you can see that basically the snow is very, very light, just snow flurries. Interesting to note that the GFS is more bullish on snow than what the European is. There's a look at the European's forecast for the same time period, and it is definitely much less in coverage over the southeastern U.S. The system just brings us really cold air, and Tuesday is going to be a raw day. We'll start the day out, I think, pretty cloudy, and that means with this wraparound moisture sort of situation, we could see some snow flurries on Tuesday as well. But again, this kind of pattern where we've got this deep low off the coast and we're getting wraparound moisture, that does not typically provide us with a significant snow event. The upper trough by Wednesday is beginning to show signs of moving on, and that's good, and that's nice for the southeastern U.S. because that's the way things are. We get cold for a day or two, and then we begin to warm up. And by Thursday, you can see that the pattern is flattening quite a bit over us. So as thicknesses come up, that means we should be warming up as the high-pressure system settles in over the eastern third of the country. On Friday, the The upper air flow across the eastern two-thirds of the country is nearly zonal, so we don't see much going on. And by Saturday, we can see that flow is still that way. By Saturday, also, the GFS is suggesting a weak front coming down into the area. I think the GFS may be a little bit off base here. Yes, we may see the front. It's going to be rather weak, not nearly as strong as the fronts we've been seeing. No really extreme cold air with this. But it's also generating a good deal of precipitation, most of that very light, and I think that the atmosphere may be too dry for that, but it's verging on voodoo country, so we'll wait and see what happens. Looking out into voodoo country, we see that we do have another system in the form of a fairly substantial shortwave coming through the central U.S. Around Monday, the 15th of February. And then the pattern goes pretty zonal until we get out to the very end of the pattern, the period around February 21st. We have a rather complex pattern with a closed low over the southwestern United States and a fairly deep trough bringing cold air down into at least the central U.S. Doesn't look like it'll be affecting the southeastern U.S. So a rather complex pattern, but you know how that is out in voodoo country. Maybe it'll be there tomorrow, and maybe it won't be there tomorrow. Well, thanks for tuning into the Weather Extreme video. I expect to have the next one posted by 8 a.m. or so on Sunday morning. In the meantime, stay tuned to the blog for notes on Alabama's ever-changing weather pattern. And I'm very excited about going to the Alabama Wildlife Center's Wild About Chocolate fundraising event tonight in downtown Birmingham at the Hubbard Center. Hope to see you there. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Have a great day and Godspeed.